Items dropped on the tracks. Other items carefully.
Show you. Welcome to my video on what I spent in a week, so from yesterday Tuesday till this upcoming one, and I genuinely don't know how much I spend in a week, so it is out of curiosity. It really just depends on what I'm doing in the week. I really only have scheduled events from Mondays to Thursdays each week, but even within those events the variety of how much money I spend for each of them changes, so there's really no way for me to tell, oh, I spend about $200 each week. Like, I genuinely just don't know. So as you can see, so far I have done public transport only the last day or so, and so from tomorrow I'm pretty sure I'll be spending more because that is when my work from home and weekend begins. So we'll see what kind of difference that makes to the more usually intense work days, for example Tuesdays and Wednesdays when I'm kind of more in the office. So it's really just depending on my activities for the day and what kind of things I need to buy in that specific week. Morning. Today Bill and I are actually picking up our wedding rings. We put down a $500 deposit when we first ordered them about a month and a half ago, and so today I'm kind of scared to see how much this total is going to go up. I forgot to film, but we went to Macca's for brunch and I spent $6. We keep trying to find these cups from Kmart that we're going to make the vases at our reception, but we can't find them because they're really popular, so we decided to do click and collect, so we're guaranteed to get them. So I spent $4.50 because we're splitting the cost.
Oh wait, yeah.
I just bought boutonnieres for our parents for the wedding, so we're splitting that cost. And then because of free shipping, I had to buy this stand organizer and also falsies. I feel like yours is gonna already turn out better. It's the weekend and we are heading to one of our favorite restaurants, Dosa Hut. We're going to bring our friend Daniel, who's never been before, and I went to a really cheap hot pot place for lunch with Jess. It was so good, and Bill's jealous that he didn't get to go.
I love hot pot.
I did also put in stocks for the first time, but Bill said not to add it to this video because it's not actually an expense.
It's not a usual expense, you know. You're buying an asset
to make it grow.
Yeah, it's not like you're gonna spend 10 grand a week.
And we'll see how much we spend at Dosa. How much do we usually spend there?
Yeah, $20, $25
each.
No, less.
Really?
Yeah, because it's like Macca's prices.
At this point, Macca's isn't even that cheap, but my friend told me that Switzerland Macca's is $17.80 for a Big Mac, and that's not a meal, that's just the burger. That would drive me crazy because you can't even rely on Macca's if you want something cheap. My skin looks really good.
How much did you spend?
I hope that I don't spend much this weekend. I'm actually planning to stay home almost all of tomorrow, and Sunday is actually half a day at church. So I don't think I'm going to spend as much as I otherwise might if I was really going out, but that is my prediction at the moment. I am scared to even calculate how much I've just spent these last few days because I feel like just today and yesterday was a lot. So I am kind of afraid to actually know, but so far, I think I'm tracking okay if it wasn't for the wedding. I'm also going to calculate at the end of the video what it'd be like without all of my wedding costs. I actually didn't spend any money yesterday, Saturday, which is a miracle. I stayed at home all day, so I had friends over but didn't spend anything outside myself. So I am really proud of that, but I kind of splurged today instead. So I went out for church dinner, and basically I also have to add in $3.60 for dumplings that we shared. Unfortunately, I only got to eat one, but the person who paid for our table just asked me to pay her for that, and I forgot about it genuinely because I only ate one, but I'm going to pay that anyway, so just dropping in to add that in. Welcome to the end of this video where I calculate how much I spent in the past week. So it's Monday, I started on Tuesday, so these are the past 7 days of spending. Before I begin, a couple of things. Sorry about the rain sound. stands. It honestly hasn't rained this much all year. Like honestly, winter didn't rain this hard. It's actually hailing now. I can feel the ice, you can hear that pounding, but it's spring. Like genuinely, Sydney only gets warm in spring around mid-November, so there's still about a month to go of this kind of cloudy, dreary weather, which is so sad because it's not winter anymore. Like, come on, clouds. But secondly, I am also going to add my final expense for the week, which is $6 to pitch into booking the badminton courts, because every Monday, so tonight I am going to head off to Batty with my friends. So that is my final expense for the week. If I do end up eating dinner tonight outside, there's just no way for me to tell you guys right now because we haven't decided yet. For the train, I spent $5.22 thrice and then $4.20 for a shorter train ride. On Bill's wedding ring, I spent $1,600, obviously the largest expense of the week. Then on Macca's for lunch, I spent $6. On vases for the wedding, I spent $4.50. On Temu, I spent $30.75. For Hot Pot, I spent $15.95. For Dosa Hut, I spent $22.30. For dinner last night, I spent $19 plus $3.60 for the dumplings. For dessert, I spent $11.64. And today I spent $6 on Batty Court. So that is everything just kind of laid out all in one go. Now I'm going to do a grand total calculation, and I'm scared, but we'll see what it amounts to. Personally, if it is anywhere between 200 and 300, I would be okay. Anything over 300, I definitely don't think that I can be affording right now. So I will be mad. I don't think it will get to that point. I'm just saying that I think if on any given week, whether I film or not, if I spend over 300, I think I'd be pretty mad at myself considering that there were only casual events this week. But that amount is not counting the wedding ring, for example. So my grand total has come to $1,739.60, which is a very, very large number. It is actually quite scary. But if you take away the wedding expenses, it actually amounts to $124.32 without all of the wedding expenses for the week. So that is really good. I was under 200 by quite a lot, so I'm actually pretty happy with myself. I feel like if there can be some weeks where I do under 100, that'd be even more amazing, but it'd mean that I won't really see friends that much or go out much. So it really depends, because I do like to keep up with my friends. Catching the train cost almost $20 just to go in twice a week. And by the way, the company policy for me is that I actually am meant to go in 3 times a week, which I only sometimes do. So the fact that already 2 times a week, which is already like against my company rules, cost me almost $20 is actually really, really sad. It's something that I kind of already knew, but have never really calculated with the actual rates. And so the fact that it is $19.86 just maddens me, because, for example, Queensland, another Aussie state, does get to have, I think, like really cheap transport. I think they put it under $1 each time you ride these days, something like that. And I feel like they need to implement that here, because honestly, the public transport system is like, yeah, good enough, but like as soon as there's even a drop of rain, it's like so bad in terms of track work and just like canceling every train. Like I'm sure with the hail right now, honestly, would not be surprised if I checked my app right now and like all the trains were cancelled. Everything else was really just eating. I do really value my friends. If they want to eat at a specific place that is not my house, then I am willing to spend the money, because obviously I want to have that experience enjoying that with them. So that's not something that I feel like I should be cutting down. And Bill and I have actually discussed that as well, in terms of us saving and just not really wanting to go out as much. We said that we didn't want to sacrifice our friendship, because that is really important to us, and it's important that we're not just a closed off couple and kind of just only hang with each other at home. Like we definitely want to be open people and just be open-minded, explore new things, explore new places, and just go out of our comfort zone. So that's not something I feel like I can really cut down on, even though some weeks I definitely go out more than others. I feel like it's not an excessive kind of going out. In fact, a lot of my friends would say that these days I do spend a lot of time at home. So it really is about perspective as well, and just whether you feel like you should be more of a homebody or not. At the moment, I feel like I am pretty balanced. So I don't think there's anything on this list that I would honestly change. I think it was just a few wedding expenses, mainly food, and the public transport. There honestly just wasn't anything that was like, I definitely shouldn't have spent money on that item. I think everything was quite necessary, and the fact that I only spent under $125 in a week is actually quite impressive, considering I live in Sydney. I don't pay for rent. I live in my family house. I have a lot of my groceries, medical bills, general kind of bills paid for by parents, and also my mum also lets me use her card sometimes for specific kind of essentials of life. So those are definitely what keep me afloat and what really help me to save. And so I am very, very grateful to be in such a position, whereas other people might not live with parents, they might live in different cities or states or countries, and so they don't get that kind of accessibility. But for me, even though I fund myself and my own enjoyment and I don't like ask my parents for money, obviously I have all of this kind of like actual essential things that are already done for me, such as a roof over my head. So yeah, things to be very, very thankful for, and also very thankful that I only managed to spend that much in this week. However, to kind of scare myself, I am going to try and kind of remember that with the wedding expenses, it was still almost $2,000. I know that the ring obviously was the majority of that, but kind of to like get myself going in terms of still wanting to save really hard, I find that it's really easy to slack off if you kind of start being too nice to yourself. So for example, in coming weeks, if I keep looking back at this video and keep thinking to myself, I only spend $125 a week, it doesn't even matter, it will be definitely less motivating to save up than if I told myself, oh my gosh, that week that I filmed my expenses, I spent almost $2,000. And to kind of just ignore that it was because of the wedding expenses, I kind of just play kind of mind tricks on myself to keep myself motivated. So that's probably what I'm still going to tell myself. But like in terms of this video and giving you guys calculations, I'm glad that without the wedding expenses, it was so cheap. So I am pretty proud of how this video came out. Thank you for watching. I hope it was insightful as to how I spend my money and just how much I spend in a week.